2, breaking formation.
5-6 out. That tank line should keep the Iraqis busy enough for you to slip in behind. Gusev won't see you coming. That's him. Top lab rat for an army of mercs.
Gusev's developing the Pantheon's bioweapon. He'll know what they're planning. Wonder how he sleeps at night.
You got some advice for him?
Gusev still better be in one piece when we find him.
This is a war zone, Adler. That's why I'm coming with. Make sure you don't mess it up.
Guess that makes us a fire team, right, Case?
Cut the chatter and get moving. I'll be your eyes, so stay on calm.
Hold up, Case. Adler's on the hunt, but we still got rules out here. I trust your father.
Let's go!
Coalition airstrikes are wrapping up. That's our cue.
Entrance is on the other side of the parking lot. Let's move. Pick up the pace, Case. We can't afford to waste time.
Hold up, Adler. We don't know what's up ahead.
Let's find out.
Let's move. We need to get to the airport. There's the entrance to the airport terminal.
Airstrike cleared the way. Contact! Snipers on the overpass!
Got mortar fire!
Clear them out. We gotta stop those mortars.
Mortar team's cleared.
Just one mortar team left.
Fight cover. Incoming mortar, move! Enemy sniper! Mortar, take cover!
Airstrike cleared the way. Contact! Snipers on the overpass!
Got mortar fire!
Clear them out.
Mortar team's cleared!
One mortar left.
Take them down!
Take out those mortars. Mortar, take cover. Focus on the mortars.
Mortar team's cleared!
Just one mortar team left.
Take out those mortars. Mortars neutralized. Clear the rest. You got it. Okay, let's move up. Sniper, get down. Got the sniper. Nice job. Okay, on me. Okay, get to cover. Sniper, get down. Let's push up, Kate. Get to cover! Reinforcements coming out the terminal! They're in our way! Push through them!
shot. One mortar left. Take him out. Take out those mortars. Sniper, find cover.
Focus on the mortars. Get out of there, Kate. Sniper, get down. Mortars are down. Mop up the rest. Kate, get the cover. Kate, on me. Got the sniper. Nice job.
Sniper, get down. You got it.
Sniper, take cover.
Reinforcements coming out the perimeter.
They're in our way. Push through them. We're almost clear. Only a few left. Clean up the stragglers. Area's clear. We need to get inside.
Goose's plane is on the other side of this terminal.
We still have a lot of ground to cover.
Right, let's hurry.
أنا بحاجة لذخيرة. تفقد ذلك المكان.
They're gearing up defense. We can sneak past. Sneak?
علم. قنبلة يدوية.
Return fire! Take it left.
that a problem? Just hope this Gusev guy's working. He is.
Case, let's move. Can't let Gusev escape. Smoke! Get back!
Shotgunner, up front!
That is the marshal's team.
C1!
Here's for the scientist. Hey, let's finish him off this time. Trouble?
Shotgunner, up!
Shotgun down. Nice one.
Pantheon's falling back. Push forward. Shit! These Pantheon guys are for real.
Now you know what I've been dealing with.
Push through!
More troops ahead. Let's go.
Move up!
You're pushing up. Defensive position. Heavy resistance ahead. arrested him.
What define their dynamic and how much of their legacy still shape China's trajectory today? Well, we've got Dr. Chen Bang, Deputy Director and Senior Research Fellow of the East Asian Institute at National University of Singapore to unpack all of this for us. So, Dr. Chen, let's just start with the bigger picture here. When people look back at the Jiang and Zhu years, what do you see as a defining story of what happened?
Actually, this is a rare moment when Chinese people, especially the Chinese leadership, is commemorating the two leaders who jointly shaped the trajectory of China's economic modernization. Jiang himself actually was an unexpected leader after the 1989 Tiananmen incident. He was facing tough internal and external challenges, including China's economic stagnation, as well as the international isolation, especially the sanctions from the Western countries over China's human rights issues. Jiang was adapting to all these challenges by following Deng Xiaoping's economic liberalization policies. And also he was trying to improve relationship, and he was quite effective in doing so by managing to improve relationship with many countries, especially Western countries, United States in particular. Zhu Rongji himself actually was focusing on China's tough internal economic issues, including the inefficiency of the state-owned enterprises, and also one of his main tasks was to liberalize and privatize China's economy following the market economy principles. So both of them actually were cooperating quite well and managed to bring China to the trajectory of spectacular economic rise. Just now you mentioned China's entry into WTO. I do think that that was one of their major contributions to China's modern history, because the entry into the WTO helped China unleash its economic productivity and boost its especially the manufacturing and export sectors, which still has profound impact upon today's economic order and political order. So I do think that we have left a lot of legacies upon China's economic modernization.
So, I mean, those changes, including China's accession to the World Trade Organization, basically transformed China's place in the world. So, the China that emerged from that period became obviously more integrated with the global economy. And how do you think those years actually reshaped China's relationship with the rest of the world?
Actually, at that time, there were different voices in the inside China about whether to join the WTO, because many people thought that this kind of entry would impact China's own industry. Many people thought China's domestic industry still needed protection from the government, and they do not want this kind of international competition. Zhu Rongji managed to persuade different interest groups, and also he was smart in using this kind of external pressure of the WTO entry to push a lot of Chinese domestic reforms, including the state-owned enterprise reforms, the legal reforms, as well as the privatization of many sectors. So actually the entry into the WTO became very positive news for China later on, and a lot of people understood that actually it was painful at the moment, but it gave China tremendous benefit in the long run.
And Dr. Chen, we fast forward today, China is obviously operating at a rather very different environment, how does China's approach today, I mean, how its governance today compares with the Jiang and Zhu era? I mean, you've talked about a lot of policies and ideas being continued, but also where do you see a clear shift, a different direction that the current administration is taking?
Of course, currently China is in the era of Xi Jinping, which is very different from Jiang and Zhu's era. The market economy continues, but there are more regulations from the government, and economic growth sometimes is not prioritized in front of national security, and the relationship with many other countries, especially with the Western partners, are not that satisfactory as compared to Jiang and Zhu's era. And Xi Jinping these days, I think he emphasizes more on China's domestic capacity, the self-reliance, the dual circulation. But I do think that China's reform and opening up continue. The market economy continues, the privatization continues. Actually, if we look at the number of billionaires and millionaires in China, I do think that the number is still on the rise if we still follow the number of IPOs on the China's stock market. Especially recently, some domestic companies got listed doing businesses in memory chips or robotics. So I do think that the animal spirit is still there in China.
Just hope
Yeah,
there's
can
no
you
more
elaborate on that?
surprises.
Because you talked about IPOs, we talk about self-reliance, and today's competition is increasingly centered around technology and innovation.
corners.
So, I mean, the
look
Jiangsu
Stay
years,
cool.
you mentioned laid the foundation for China's progress, economic rise, that sort of thing. But now that we're entering the age of AI, how much of China's ability to compete in this new era also can be traced back to the reforms
Can we
of
just
the
get back
previous
to the
era?
mission? Unbelievable.
Actually, I do think that Jiang Zhu and Xi Jinping, actually, they do share some kind of consensus, which is that China has to use the external pressure to push China's own reforms and also to push the Chinese
Okay, let's get a move
entrepreneurship
on.
forward. Because sometimes if we lack this kind of external pressure, China will also lose the momentum of growth. So for Jiang Zemin and Zhu Rongji's time, they think that the WTO entry was the pressure. And now Xi Jinping thinks that the geopolitical tension, the competition with the United States, and to some extent the sanction from the West can also be used as a kind of pushing force for Xi Jinping to stimulate the entrepreneurship in China. And we do see that there are some breakthroughs in some key sectors despite the sanctions from the United States.
So, Dr. Chenggang, finally, as people are reflecting on their legacy, and you mentioned about using external pressure to push for entrepreneurship, but aside from that, what do you think is the next big lesson that today's policymakers, I mean, whether they're inside or outside of China, might draw from that period? What would that be?
Actually, there are still many lessons for today's leadership to learn from. For example, there are side effects for Jiang and Zhu's reform. Despite their strong rhetoric on corruption, on pollution, actually the corruption and pollution remained unchecked in those days. And also, I think there was the unfair distribution of wealth during this progress. Zhu Rongji's state-owned enterprise reform actually also led to the laid-off of millions of workers in some provinces. So there are costs and side effects for this kind of painful reform and opening.
Well, thanks very much for showing us why the legacy continues to shape China and the world today. Dr. Chenggang, Deputy Director and Senior Research Fellow of the East Asian Institute at National University of Singapore. Well, time now for a short break, but coming up on East Asia tonight. At least one person is dead after torrential rain triggered a landslide in South Korea as floodwaters submerged roads and homes.
Prime Minister Lawrence Wong will be delivering his National Day rally speech at Institute of Technical Education headquarters on Sunday, 23rd August. The speech will be telecast live at 6:45 p.m. Mr. Wong will be speaking in Malay, then in Mandarin. He will proceed to deliver his English speech at 8 p.m. CNA will provide subtitles in English. You can also watch the rally online. Hear the coverage live on CNA 938.
Hostiles, open fire!
Your next dream holiday starts with LTE travel at Natas Fair. Let's go everywhere with LTE's professional travel planning and unbeatable deals. Get your holiday exclusively at Natas Fair booth 4H-55 or call 6532-5322.
On Japan, journey through Japan's World Heritage Sites, where every age-old onsen offers a timeless retreat.
Yeah, this is Japan. Very Japanese.
Every overnight temple stay becomes a story.
Never imagined staying in a room like this.
Every shrine keeps tradition alive. Japan, Saturday on CNA.
Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation. NUFG, committed to empowering a brighter future. Zip Air, all flights, all seats, free high-speed Wi-Fi available. IHI. And Takashimaya, visit our Mid-Autumn Fair, 20th August to 25th September.
The death toll from record-breaking rainfall in Japan's Chiba prefecture has risen to 10 after officials confirmed another fatality. The Chiba city received 3 times its average rainfall for the entire month of August in just half a day, triggering widespread flooding. Some 1,500 homes were affected and 2 houses destroyed. As floodwaters recede, the situation is turning to the massive cleanup. Authorities are working to remove about 2,500 abandoned vehicles left stranded by the floods, with many still blocking and complicating recovery efforts. And over in South Korea, 1 person was killed after a landslide struck the southeastern coastal city of Korea. A days of torrential rain sent a wall of mud crashing into an apartment building, trapping residents inside. 2 other people were rescued as emergency crews continue search and recovery operations. Nearly 800 millimeters of rainfall has been reported across South Gyeongsang province since Saturday, prompting evacuation orders in the region. The Korea city government has warned that the Mangdong Reservoir is at high risk of overflowing. Authorities have banned all vehicle and pedestrian traffic in affected areas as roads quickly turned into rivers. Now, bus services have also been suspended, while power has been cut to about 1,500 homes and businesses. Emergency officials received more than 20 reports of residents stranded by floodwaters. The deluge marks a dramatic reversal after weeks of intense heat waves and drought. Authorities in China's eastern Zhejiang province are testing a new way to save lives on the water. At Jianghu Lake, this light buoy, which looks like a drone with its built-in propellers, is being put to the test. The AI-powered device can autonomously navigate to a person in distress, land on water, and provide buoyancy until rescuers arrive. And once the mission is over, it can fly itself back to base. Officials say the technology is designed to work alongside human rescue teams, cutting the time it actually takes to reach someone in the water, when every second counts. A DeepSeek, Quen, GLM, and Kimi, they're among Chinese AI models at the center of a growing divide in Silicon Valley. The Trump administration is weighing restrictions on U.S. access, dividing the tech industry. And supporters say the models drive innovation and help American startups compete. Critics allege that some Chinese AI companies built using technology copied from U.S. firms. Iris Spitzer files this report for CNN in San Francisco.
Knock them down.
The U.S.-China tech war has a new battleground. AI models.
Are they using stolen materials?
With accusations from U.S. officials and angry responses from Beijing, saying the American threats lack factual basis and have no legal grounding. And as the U.S. weighs sanctions and other trade restrictions against Chinese AI firms, Silicon Valley finds itself caught in the middle. At the startup Replit, software engineers move seamlessly between U.S. models like Anthropic's Claude and Chinese open-weight models like CAI's Last month, an industry group called the Little Tech Association urged the Trump administration not to block access to Chinese open-weight AI models, several of which rank among the world's most advanced.
We channel all of the sort of demand for AI into a handful of closed-weight companies. That will absolutely escalate prices, but it will also reduce the ability to actually innovate and build new and novel products.
The accusations focus on how some Chinese AI models were built.
At the heart of the controversy is distillation, a common technique in which one AI model learns from another. But done without permission, particularly at industrial scale, it can trigger accusations of intellectual property theft.
The latest allegations center on China's Moonshot AI, which U.S. officials accuse of improperly distilling one of Anthropic's most advanced AI models.
If you're one of these companies that make the models that are being stolen, essentially, you have a huge problem with this. And if you're the American government, it behooves you to protect, your companies from this in any way that you can, right? It's IP theft at some level.
However, exactly when AI model distillation crosses the line into IP theft remains unsettled. With no clear global standards, many in the U.S. tech industry argue restricting access to Chinese AI would do more harm than good.
It would definitely put companies at a disadvantage. And then as an entrepreneur, you want to think really hard whether it makes sense for you to be based in the U.S.
And that's the crux of it. Washington may be trying to protect American AI, but Silicon Valley fears it could end up driving innovation and innovators elsewhere. For CNA, Ira Spitzer in San Francisco.
I hope you've enjoyed this Monday's edition of East Asia Tonight. Don't forget your headlines anytime. Thanks for watching.
Cruise through the heart of Budapest on the Danube and uncover a city that captivates day and night. Visit us at NASA Space 4H320.
This program is available on demand for free on Me Watch.
Now I am becoming death, the destroyer of spirit. Explosion of the Ariana Grande concert.
2 bombs went off in the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
Joy turns to confusion and a realization of tragedy.
Now's our chance!
events that forever changed history, minute by minute. From 6th September, every Sunday at 7 p.m. on CNA.
Singapore Hour, your all-access pass to the city's sights, sounds, and secret spots. Today, we're starting with a burst of color, because here in Singapore, art doesn't just live in galleries, it's all around us, in the streets. We're going to meet Anna Dutoit, an artist who will take us through a journey that takes us through the city's vibrant art scene, one that's breaking boundaries and coloring well outside the lines.
Then you can bring out and then just leave that.
How did I do? Am I hired now?
This may not be my strongest work. My foundation is in fine arts, but my passion embraces all forms of art. Growing up, I was always surrounded by creativity. I studied fine art at the Ruskin School of Art in Oxford, where I got into oil painting and drawing with ballpoint pen. When I came home, I found a creative scene bursting with life, and I'm proud to be a part of it. As an artist, a curator, and a maker. In Singapore, art isn't just in galleries. It finds its way into everyday life. And I want to take you around to see just how vibrant it's become. So I'm kicking things off somewhere a little unexpected. Lavender, with a scoop of ice cream. This is my good friend Tiffany So. We're both curators of an independent art platform called Kofi.
So it's the one with the purple one there?
No. We share the same goal to make art part of everyday life, especially work by artists from Southeast Asia.
Cheers! Me and Tiff are actually involved in the curation for this joint collaborative exhibition together with Sweet Cheeks.
And the theme is melting thresholds, this idea of blurring boundaries of where art can live, where it can sit, and how it can be experienced in our everyday lives. Hence also why we work with local everyday spaces like this one, get to experience art in an environment that's a lot more welcoming, a lot more accessible.
I mean, I just love how the collaboration runs so deep into small details like the packaging of this ice cream cup and down to the ice cream flavors.
Kofi always works with emerging artists who are either very early on in their careers or people who are very underrepresented in the mainstream art scene from around the region who have never had the opportunity to showcase their works in a public space.
And I feel like as an artist, just putting my art out here, for example, when people engage with my art in such a intimate way, it sort of opens up this whole new world for me as an artist.
As someone still finding my way as an artist, I know how hard it is to get seen, especially when you're mostly sharing your work online. Having it in a physical space where people can spend time with it makes a big difference. Which brings me to my next stop, Alexandra. Gilman Barracks has changed a lot over the years, but it's still one of the few places in Singapore with this many galleries. My favorite's right at the entrance. It's a non-profit space that supports local artists, emerging, established, or even those who don't call themselves artists yet. This is May Anderson. She's been a big part of shaping Singapore's art scene for over 2 decades.
So May, I have been a huge long-time fan of Paul. So what exactly is POS and what is the space that we're in right now?
I'm so glad, Anna. Art Outreach is a
charity that has been around for 22 years, we now focus on supporting art practitioners because we believe that artists reaches an audience through powerful visual language. Heart is a program we've run for the last 5 years. So the space is given to an artist for free. We give them a small micro grant. We support them with videography, photography to capture not just the persons behind the art, but the process as well as the beautiful finished product. What has been the nicest part about this space is the diversity of practitioners. So we have a lot of artists that come right to us from art school. We have artists who are architects, who are writers, tech people, and this is their chance to express their artistic side.
I'm meeting the artists behind Hearth's latest exhibit, Jia T and Aaron. Their art doesn't hang on walls. Visitors contribute to the work as it unfolds. The duo work is for new conversations and invite people to think and respond. And they're just 2 of over 300 artists who've shown here.
I've always been interested in this idea of learning and how it can take in different shapes and forms. We did an open call for the public to submit different assignments and reflect knowledge that's important to them, to really make it like a little workshop in progress, such that many different people can come in to try unexpected or surprising assignment. So it is really an ongoing, participatory exhibition.
We never had a studio big enough to do all this making and experimenting and tweaking, and the flexibility, I think that was very helpful.
Art Orange also helps with marketing and all that, which I think is really good. We can really look into creating the work itself and having dialogue with people who come to the space.
Where do you guys go to look for art?
I think we really are drawn to public art installations or community-based works.
I think another alternative view is taking time to just wonder can lead you to some nice chance encounters.
Some of the most surprising places to find art are the ones you pass through without even thinking. So May takes me underground to a place I thought I knew very well. Dhoby Ghaut is the biggest MRT station in Singapore. I pass through it all the time, but I never actually stopped to look at the art within. This one before us, created by one of my most formative teachers, Delia Pavaki, and her husband and artist, Milenko Pavaki.
The Art in Transit program that features artwork in every MRT station, 112 stations and 116 artists. Singapore's largest collection of public art. So it's a real cool thing that the art is not just in local museums, but actually it's in our MRT stations. Free, accessible. We are expanding an artwork called Interchange, and it's especially apt because this is an interchange station. It starts with blue and white and then it ends with Peranakan colors, celebrating that transition from people from China coming to Singapore, bringing the tradition of ceramics, but of course having it integrate with the Southeast Asian flavors. But it took about 9 months. So can you imagine firing each piece by herself? Every piece of the wall was fired by hand by Delia. And for Milenko, he had to lay all the mosaic along this wall and also along pillars in the station. And all that was truly a labor of love, giving birth to this love child.
It's not Gustaf's plane.
As an artist, creating art at this scale in such a public space feels like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Tanks are almost here.
Found them outside Terminal 3. They're taking them to a military cargo plane.
I head to my next stop, Promenade
Terminal
Station.
3. That's clear across the airport, Doc.
To see a large-scale
So we
art
shortcut it across the tarmac.
What
The hell are you talking about, man? Those tanks?
When we first approached the project, we were really excited because this is our first large-scale public mission.
But we got the plans, and one of the things that really stood out to us is that there were
How about now? Tarmac or we lose Gustav?
Sunlight that was coming through, and that really inspired us to do something that could work with
I hate it when it's bright.
Coming through. There's a lot of water around this station, and we wanted to have the element of water, light, and light coming together to reflect each other.
I think it's a very transitional place.
People just walk in and out of the station. At least for maybe a couple of people just look up for the brief moment for a couple of seconds. It actually brings them to a place of wonder.
And so the piece of work is actually called Disco. So it's happening for James in social cosmology. What we wanted was to bring a little bit of spiritedness into the MRT station. And hopefully people can see the work together around it they can do a little bit of dance.
After seeing all that public art, I just really wanted to make something myself. Fortunately, in Singapore, there are creative spaces everywhere. Whether you're learning a new skill or just trying something different on the weekend. My go-to is this quiet ceramics studio in the West, where my friend Yang Saw has been working for the past 15 years, creating everything from tableware to sculptures. For her, ceramics isn't just something you do. Ceramic is really part of my daily life. It's also
No way we'll make it in time!
Where I take express my inner thoughts and transfer it into something physical. So I've been taking on the mountain series. We have it in carving form, so taking away clay instead of like adding on. Wow. Yeah. So while I removed the clay, I also sort of like realized they really look like a kind of like mountain kind of landscape.
So why did you decide to start off with functional wear?
I also visit like different artist studio. And then when you go to their studio, they'll be serving you with drinks or with their utensils.
Yeah.
For me, that is really, I feel so thankful and grateful, and I think I want to continue that tradition. For someone who received it the first time, it really elevates everything.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I felt so welcome.
Today, I'm trying raku firing, an ancient Japanese technique. First, we apply a glaze formulated specifically for raku firing. We then fire it in a microwave kiln. Then, while it's red hot, it's dropped into flammable materials.
Come on!
Oh, it's not very hot.
Wow, heat transfer. Sometimes if it cools down like too fast, then it might crack. That's all.
Oh, I see.
You get this very lustrous and very shiny metallic kind of finishing. So pretty. Each individual piece is going to be very different, even after applying glaze. One layer or two layer will result in different changes already. And then with the combustion and then the change in atmosphere, it gives even a dramatic kind of finishing to it.
I love that sort of unpredictability. I love it.
Ta-da! My finished piece. It's rough, random, and totally one of a kind. And that's what I've come to love about ceramics in Singapore's art scene. Unpredictable, open,
this way,
always growing, and best of all, it's for everyone.
Tarmac taking a pound. We need to go.
No coding skills? She built her own app anyway.
What I taught programmers to do, I could do it now.
How this couple saves up to 90% of what they earn while living on the road. Their restaurant was failing. Could social media save it? On Money Mind, Wednesday on CNA. How do you feed billions of people as climate change accelerates?
Paddy rice cultivation is a major source of global methane emissions.
When production is disrupted, the impact is felt across the community.
Farmers say olives are a rare bright spot in stressed farmlands such as this one.
CNN correspondent explores the solutions that are taking root across the region,
from the east.
feeding Asia's future. Wednesday on CNN.
Whoa!
Your next dream holiday starts with LGE Travel. Let's go everywhere with LGE's professional travel planning and unbeatable deals. Book your holiday exclusively at Not Fair Booth.
Hey, let's go!
6532.
Coalition tanks are gonna be gunning for us in this T-72. Fuck me! I'm gonna get pulverized with my own tank line.
لقد سرق الأمريكيون دبابتنا.
They look the same, they smell the same.
As I got eyes on a T-72 hauling ass across the tarmac like a madman.
Yeah, that'd be us.
Okay. Maintain heading to intercept Goose's cargo plane.
Head towards the terminal. Go!
Because because you opened the wrong slider. Two inmates who had been in a fight now come face to face with each other.
This week, yes, Captain!
Coalition's here! Move!
We're going to bring down their necks will only push them over the edge. Sorry, Glenn.
Just like old times!
Yeah! Yes, everything explodes! Monday to Thursday, 8:30 p.m. More episodes of Yes, Captain are available on demand for free on MeWatch. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric
Can't afford to get bogged down here!
Chinatown is a popular tourist spot with irresistible
Who's plane
street
is tacked
food,
into the
rich
runway?
history, and temples.
RPG,
And no one
Kate.
better than Alvin Shaw, who's going to show us some places that the TikTok reels tend to miss. He's going to take us to his old
Who's plane just hit the runway?
It's not his route.
We can't take more hits like that! Don't slow down, Kate! Floor it!
Knew every hidden alley, every shortcut. Everything that went down here
Plane's taking off! Fire, Kate!
doesn't always work.
Fuck that guy! Target hit! Plane is ground!
I try remember turn tourist guide in Chinatown.
We gotta go! Come on!
You're a hard man to find, Kuzu.
South Beach Road
high time
in
we had a
Chinatown,
chat.
which is one of the oldest roads in Singapore, which is
Pantheon
very
forced me to help
important
them.
to the early migrants.
Threatened my family.
I've
You
been
buying
a
that,
tour guide
Sims?
in
No,
Chinatown
kids
for
probably came with the water.
sliding
Good thing we brought
Not
a
familiar with
light.
this place.
Case.
My tours are quite
Make him
unique
talk.
because of my background and my time in this neighborhood in my younger days. Chinatown is very special.
Jane Harold brought me a biological
What's so
agent,
special about this
the
temple?
cradle,
Not a
from an
single
American
nail or
lab.
screw was used.
The Pantheon
like the
wanted
Japanese
me
technique.
to make it infectious.
1839,
More
they
violent.
start building.
The victims
1842,
tear
it was
each other
built.
apart like animals.
Who else is
Chinatown
working
is
with Harold?
located in the
Daniel
southern
Livingston?
part of Singapore,
Never heard of
just
him.
on the edge of the central business district.
I don't know. Why would they
Why
tell me?
Pagoda Street?
No.
For the Chinese,
I
during
swear,
that time we
they
don't
don't
have street
share
names.
anything unless they
So
need
how
to.
we identify and tell people where we are? This is called the Gopuram, a towering entrance gateway to a Hindu temple.
I don't
so it
know.
looks like a
I don't.
pagoda
Please, you
to the
must
Chinese.
believe me.
So if I'm nearby this street, I will say I'm at Pagoda Street.
I don't know the
You
target,
also
but
find
I can
more
tell you where the
Rambla
weapon
Street
is.
and Temple Street around the corner.
Vorkuta.
So this is how diverse we have
Russian
in
prison
Singapore.
camp. It became a
Everybody
bioweapon lab
celebrates
years ago
everybody's
before it
festival.
was shut down. But it still has what they need to scale up production of the cradle.
I think it's worth
That'll work.
You
can dispose of it now.
What? No!
My walking tours usually take about 3 hours.
Told us what he knows.
It's fun and it's really
Something, your old
enjoy
age,
it.
huh, Sims? You've got your own ways and I've got mine. Goosup's in my custody now.
Let's take a walk to Near Road and
Marshall,
get
catch all
ourselves
that?
some tea, shall we?
Affirmative. Mother Lowe's in Vorkuta. I'll let the others know we're headed there.
Cradle leaves
one
that
of the
camp.
oldest tea houses
Pantheon can release
located
at any
in
time,
Chinatown to meet my
anywhere.
friend
Millions
and
can be
owner,
risked.
Livan.
It's up to us.
Hi Alvin, have a seat. Hey, fun. It's been quite some time I visited you. So I'm craving for some teas now. And that's
If the
something I
cradle's in
always wanted
Vorkuta,
to ask
the
you.
Pantheon
What
will have that
makes
base well
tea,
defended.
Traditional tea appreciation
We'll approach that
so
low
special?
altitude, land
well,
a few
for
miles out.
traditional Chinese
The
tea,
next phase is all you,
There's
Sid.
an art, there's an
So,
philosophy,
hack
and
to
it's
the
also
base
a
perimeter
bridge
for
between
infiltration.
generations.
After that, find the Pantheon uniform
It
to blend
actually
in.
teaches mindfulness,
No problem.
respect, and patience.
Right up your alley.
And in fact, you're at right
Once
now
inside,
is
scout out the
room
base.
whereby
We need to know what
the Queen,
defenses they
Queen
have and
Elizabeth
whether there's
II.
anything you can do to weaken them.
I would
Saboteur.
like to try what tea
I think I might
drank
enjoy
during
this.
that visit. Okay, so
Once their
this is
defenses
the tea
are
that we
down,
have
the
right
rest
now.
of us
This
can
tea
move in.
is called Imperial Golden
Then we'll need
Cassia.
to find
It
and
boosts
secure the
to
cradle.
a natural floral aroma.
You ready
so
for this?
You can give it a try. So what
Let
should
me
I
have
do?
them.
With this cup, you hold on the top like this with 2 fingers. So give it a smell. So the first smell that you experience, this is called the hot aroma. So right now you pour it over to the shorter cup over here. This is what we call the appreciation cup. So the empty cup, you smell it once more. So this is the warm aroma. So it's evaporating a bit. It's
Heavy
more
military
obvious. Once
presence.
you put
It's
it
entirely
in the cup,
Pantheon.
just give it a round.
Can you get in?
And the
Inside
temperature
the
of the cup
perimeter
will fall.
already.
And right now
Now I
you can
just need
smell
to
it
dress
again.
the part.
So this is the cold aroma. It does change a bit, right? Yeah. So kind of caramelizes a bit.
A simple cup of tea can hold centuries of tradition and apparently royal approval too. If it's good enough for King William II, it's definitely good enough for me. I love walking through all these alleys in Chinatown. And with all these beautiful wall mirrors of the past,
Marshal,
how they live, it reminds me of my childhood.
We're all ears over
My
here.
dad was a home-based tailor, and Chinatown was where we got fabric and visited my mom's godmothers. But in my teens, I started coming here for the wrong reasons. This was where I got my fix. These days, I give talks and share my story, hoping it will steer others away from the path I once took. If you want to see the heart of Chinatown today, look no further than its hawker centers.
Place a charge on it.
With more than 200 stores, Chinatown Complex Food Center is one of Singapore's largest hawker centers.
Perhaps you can add some water
Some of the
to it.
renowned dishes you can
There's a
find here are
security
steamboat,
station.
dim
Maybe I
sum,
can try sweet talk in
and
the garden
glutinous
inside.
rice ball.
Any other options?
Probably.
I'm craving for my
Looks
bowl
like
of
they're about to
jendo,
load cargo
my
into
favorite
it.
dessert.
Something to
Jendo
exploit.
has roots across
My
Southeast
own.
Asia, from Malaysia to Indonesia to Thailand. Every
I see
country
their
has
SAM
their
site.
own version.
Looks loaded.
You thinking about placing charges on that bad
Hi,
boy?
Yuning.
Perhaps.
Hey, hi. I have a
Or I
favor
could
to ask you
sabotage their
today.
unloaded
Sure.
warheads.
Can you teach me
It's up
how
to
to
swap
make
out.
my own chendol?
If you can find someone to do it for
First
you.
thing that you have
Sure.
to prepare is the shaved ice.
It's a possibility.
The next thing that you can put on is our fresh cold-pressed coconut milk.
They have a
And
very
then the next one
impressive
will be
radar
our
dish.
red bean.
Yeah. We need
So
to
we
do
import
something about
our
that.
premium red bean from overseas.
Could just plant a jar
And
in
then
the
we
dish.
cook it over hours.
Or
And
take
the
up
next
its
one will
power
be the
supply.
legendary
It must be
chendol
connected
where we
to a
make
generator.
ourselves.
Any other options?
And this is the palm sugar that we are using. We import
Someone's
palm
stationed
sugar
behind the security
from
window
our
there.
surrounding neighbor, and then we
could be
brew it
more
over
dark.
charcoal all by ourselves. So you are done with your first bowl of own-made chendol.
Once you neutralize all three, we'll be good to go.
Marvelous. What makes you have the thoughts of starting a chendol business?
Okay, so I started this business on
That's it.
chendol
Keep an
back
eye out
in
for the
2017. That's when I
It's
first came
somewhere
back
on that
from
page.
overseas. When I wanted a bowl of traditional chendol, which I could not find. There's no one really serving a natural and also freshly made chendol in Singapore. That's where I decided that I should serve one in our neighborhood, Chinatown.
Time to walk off my chendol. I'm going to visit a hidden gem in People's Park Complex.
Just have to work my
Anthony
magic
the
on this
Spice
now.
Maker. I will call him personally the Spice Master. He always have the ingredients I need for my cooking. Hey Anthony, what are you doing?
I'm doing a blend of a so-called golden satay. You need sugar, the salt, and I use Himalaya pink salt, more healthy salt. For this ingredient, I need to add some chili and also need some cinnamon, consider a bit of secret recipe.
Oh, I see. Now I know your secrets. Don't worry, we are good friends. Spice is the heart of many Singaporean dishes, and Anthony's got them all.
I'm the second generation. So in the 70s, my parents have a spice shop. A young boy, I help them out. The old granny, they always like to do the spices at home, blend themselves, but they don't have strength to pound themselves. So they have to visit our shop and ask me to do the recipe. So this is how I secretly know this granny recipe.
I know that your business don't just cater for locals, right? You also do overseas.
Yeah, right. That's why we actually sell online, overseas. And now actually my daughter is also in Switzerland selling online.
I know you have a special name for your daughter, right?
Oh yes, yeah. The name's called Spice Girl.
Wow, nice one. I'm really impressed by how Anthony managed to turn his parents' old school business into an online success. It's not easy preserving tradition while going digital, but he has nailed it.
starting.
Not for me, Lizzie. Can't wait to get out of here. Thought this was a
I've
3
had
days,
this
son,
neck
not a
and back pain for a while, so today I'm visiting a traditional Chinese medicine doctor.
Hi, Evan. How are you?
Not so good. I have an appointment with Dr. Chow. Am I on time?
Yeah, you're on time. Dr. George waiting for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You shouldn't leave this
Dr.
body
Chow.
lying
Hi, Irvin. Nice to see you here. How's everything?
Not so good recently. My sleep just relapsed.
Oh, okay, let me check the condition. Somewhere about lower back here.
Yeah, it's at the L4, L5.
L4, L5 area. Okay. So later we go out and do an examination and check on the body condition. Okay?
Okay, thank
Just
you.
follow me.
Found the security
Acupuncture is
station.
based on the concept of
Chemistry
qi,
here can
the
help me
body's
locate the
natural
cradle.
energy flow.
I can't get past this door.
When qi is blocked, it
I focus
causes
on the
pain
primary
and
objectives
imbalance.
first. Get the defenses down.
These needles help stimulate specific points to restore circulation, relieve tension, and activate the body's natural healing process. Can feel the numb. Yes. 一点都不痛，就是一点麻麻的感觉，因为那个针是好像毛发这么用。
中医跟西医必须要合并起来，一起合作来针对病人的情况，解决病人的症状。
The whole session took about 30 minutes, and I must come back for a few more to see the result. I'm back at Chinatown Complex Food Center. So this will be my last stop. First day on tax in a hawker center, and I have something done.
Don't forget the radar. Do what you gotta do.
This is the porter.
The best thing to have after a hard day's work. To most people, Chinatown is a tourist spot. To me, it's a story of resilience, survival, and transformation. No matter how much it changes, its spirit remains the same. And as for me, Chinatown is always home.
Without standards, it's a no-go for
Standard helps us build a stronger pathway for sustainable growth.
Built on standards. Thursday on CNA. Brought to you by Enterprise Singapore.
Hostile.
Today is building this mix of growth pole, thousands of kilometers inland.
This is not just another new station. This is the world's biggest railway station.
广东的一批城市往货拿到重庆来，我们总共8年。
Can Chongqing and Chengdu become China's next growth engines?
The idea is to foster economic cooperation.
Insight, Thursday on CNA.
AI is changing the rules of business. The question is, who is keeping up? And what does it take to make it better? Shaping Tomorrow, an AI story.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Two bombs went off the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
Joy turns to confusion and a realization of tragedy.
A Pan Am jumbo jet has jumped off the Scottish border. Left arm.
What happened before?
Warnings from engineers had been dismissed for years. America's credibility on the world stage now under fire.
The use of 50 bomb was something that Americans were prepared to do.
This had become a totalitarian state. Hitler could say, you voted for it.
Had the message been relayed properly, the US Navy could have diverted the catastrophe.
Greatest mistake in the Titanic was navigation.
Delve into the events that forever changed history, minute by minute. From 6th September, every Sunday at 7 p.m. on CNA. CNA 938. News you can trust to start your day informed, to navigate your finances and your world, and to make sense of what matters. CNA 938. News you can trust.
We've never seen this before.
Singapore doesn't just move, it grooves. From its buzzing streets to rich cultural mix, the city's got rhythm. Adding her own pulse is Namiko, a taiko drummer who brings culture, community, and some serious sound to Singapore's multicultural hearts.
Are you ready for the circle? Let's dance first. Yup. This thing is really a lot of things to learn. None of that. Just this practice is not enough. So please watch video and practice.
Can't see us coming. There's 1,000 pieces. Very ambitious wear.
Belt ever says cupping. Now for the helo in that SAM site. Whichever you want next.
I came to Singapore in year 2000. Quite a long time already. And he is my husband.
I'm Ku, from Malaysia. I came here about 1998.
I'm a Japanese drum taiko player. Also, I teach taiko as well. I started Hibikia in 2009 as a place to teach Japanese traditional music and to promote Japanese culture in Singapore. I'm very happy that Hibikia is the platform that people who are interested in Japanese culture, not necessarily taiko, to come and enjoy doing together. I want to keep the authenticity. At the same time, I want to open the door more to the
more people.
More people, yes. We actually have a session called Rojak Day. So that's where we put many songs within a day that we practice. The word Rojak, I quite like it. Like USA gonna say, they say melting pot kind of thing, right? But this Rojak, the word, and of course there is a food Rojak. So to me, the Singapore, this Rojak culture, very
unique.
Unique, they're comfortable.
All blending together.
My favorite mutton soup.
Well, at the rehearsal, sometimes we come to Upper Thomson, the roti prata shop.
Prata house.
Prata house. Now she eats more spicy food than me.
And then we will try to introduce some local staffs. I don't know whether are we successful to teach you like kangkong sambal.
Oh, I love it.
Kangkong sambal.
Green order still okay. I can order for them kopi or kosong. For the Chinese food, I can read, I can write, but I cannot pronounce properly. So for order-wise, still not very successful. We are preparing to pick out some ingomi in Japanese. It's rubbish. Are we ready? Let's go. I joined the international exchange program called SEAP, SIP for Southeast Asia Youth Program. SEAP is an international youth exchange program where people from ASEAN countries and Japan would travel by ship for more than 1 month to each other's countries. Because of that program, I had a lot of friends in Singapore. The first time I visited Singapore was in 1993, and then in 1997 as a SEAP participant. Eventually in 2000, I moved here permanently. During the SEAP, we actually had a lot of different activities. we just decided to clean up a beach as a very small first action with our friends. And it's very nice that I have friends from the Say Up program to meet and they do something for Singapore Beach. All good. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you. I met Rosalie, Raja, and Lee Chu through Say Up in 1997, and since then we've been friends.
All of us gather in Singapore Port of Call, so the contingent from different countries to start the journey from there.
Each port of call we had homestay program and institutional visit and courtesy call. When I first came and teaching Japanese language, I was trying to make the lesson fun. So I pick up Singlish here and there to make my students laugh. But it took so short time for me to really Singlish become part of me already. So I used to speak differently, but I cannot remember the way I spoke last time because I'm so used to it. That time I didn't have much vocabulary, but now I can talk jalan-jalan, makan kind of thing. It's really a communication tool. This is from our batch, 97.
This is Singapore.
Singapore.
I remember writing letters to the physical letters. Physical after. Yeah. To your family. Yeah, to the family. Yeah, we put some postcards. Yeah. Okay.
Can you see
I just spread a bit. So you mix, you see how much spice.
We didn't really do jalan-jalan like today for a very long time. So today we visited many places. It's fun. We should come more when it's not too hot. Here for 26 years, enough local food. More than half of our bodies are
so more than half of us are in Singapore.
But I'm very happy that he's been. I hope you're happy too.
I didn't think, or didn't expect I've become like this. Like looking at where I was born, the place that I'm from, very simple. Didn't expect I could do so many. Right? After being with you, I've been enjoying. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So today we are invited to perform for the event. This event to celebrate their 30th anniversary. よろしくお願いします。
Okay, Marshal. I've rigged this helicopter to blow.
All right, I like it. Now for that SAM site.
We started Hibikia back in 2009. we were invited to perform here, this exact place. I'm very happy to perform here again after 16 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, Himikiya! Thank you, Himikiya, for that wonderful performance.
We received an award, Foreign Minister's Commendation from the Japanese government. That was last year.
Over the years, my wife worked very hard promoting and involved in a lot of things. So, very honored, Japan Foreign Ministry awarded us this commendation award.
What I do, which is the performance and introducing Japanese culture, Singapore is the best place.
All right, now for that SAM site.
Whatever I am doing now made possible because of all the people I met and all the experience I went through. I feel that I meant to be here.
Now, China was once known as the world's factory. Now, its companies are seeking a bigger place on the international stage, reshaping how Chinese brands are perceived. On the next Asia First, we take a look at the global appeal of China's homegrown names.
Saturday on Japan Hour. Journey through Japan's World Heritage Sites, where every Edo onsen offers a timeless retreat.
Yeah, this is Japan. Very Japanese.
Every overnight temple stay becomes a story.
Never imagined I'd be staying in a room like this.
And every shrine keeps tradition alive. Japan Hour, Saturday on CNA.
Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation. MUFG, committed to empowering a brighter future. Zip Air, all flights, all seats, free high-speed Wi-Fi available. IHI. And Takashimaya, visit our Mid-Autumn Fair, 20th August to 25th September.
Prime Minister Lawrence Wong will be delivering his National Day rally speech at Institute of Technical Education headquarters on Sunday, 23rd August. The speech will be telecast live at 6:45 p.m. Mr. Wong will be speaking in Malay, then in Mandarin. He will proceed to deliver his English speech at 8 p.m. CNA will provide subtitles in English. You can also watch the rally online. Hear the coverage live on CNA 938.
Hey, you feel
I'm
it?
on the SAM site computer.
You should be able to reprogram the targeting system.
Just need to get past the security wall.
Copy that.
我很骄傲能代表新加坡。
我们的故事，我们要自己记载。
Ini macam selebriti je.
Ada baiknya kita balik Singapura.
Sekal momen mari ni.
Singapore vibes!
So shook.
Feel the Singapore vibes.
Catch these programs and celebrate the Singapore vibe this August.
For more details, go to mediacorp.sg/National Day.
Craft is everywhere, in steady hands, bold ideas and flavors that you won't forget. We're about to head into kitchens, breweries and food labs where local bites are getting a bold remix and made to stand out.
Most of Singapore's food is imported, but some makers are doing things differently. Crafting bold, homegrown flavors from scratch and putting Singapore on the global taste map. In a food facility in Woodlands, something unmistakably Singaporean is being cooked up.
Imagine you're eating basically a seafood dish. It has a very strong umami taste. It's salty, also sweet, and it tastes a little bit of a curry leaves and a hint of chili as well. So it's quite a unique taste. What are the problems with this one?
This one because got the blackhead.
Okay, blackhead.
Irvin didn't set out to create a snack. He opened a Chinese restaurant in 2009, hoping to make a name for himself in the F&B world. Things were going well, until a move to a quieter location.
I had to really pick my brain to come up with something new, basically to survive, to save the business. And I asked the chef, what should we do? You know what? People actually come to our restaurant to eat the salted egg crab at that time. Every single table will eat the salted egg crab. So why don't we try to focus on that?
They took the same salted egg mixture from the crab dish and tossed it over something completely different. Crispy fish skin and potato chips.
We packaged the snacks into a jar, and we were just selling it in our restaurant back then, in the cashier in fact. But after 6 months or so, it turns out the sales of the snacks actually outsells my restaurant's business itself.
Today, Urban snacks are sold in over 20 countries. While they are made in massive quantities, the heart of the process hasn't changed. Step inside the factory, and it doesn't feel like a typical production line.
It's sort of like a big kitchen because the process is still the same. There's a cooking process. We use like real ingredients.
Fresh curry leaves, sifted by hand. Chilies, blended for heat. Salted egg yolks, cooked and mixed till creamy. This is the base of Irvin's signature sauce, made from scratch, batch by batch.
So the sauce will be mixed with the fish skin or potato chips, and then we will put it into the oven for it to be made more crispy.
Once the snacks pass through quality control, they move into the final stage, where automation takes over. Each pouch is flushed with nitrogen to keep the chips crisp, then sealed by machine to lock in flavor and shelf life. It's a crucial step, part of scaling the business while keeping every bag consistent, safe, and ready to go. Even as the process evolves, the heart of it stays the same. A flavor rooted in a Singaporean dish and now landing on shelves around the world.
I think what makes Irvin special also, we embrace ourselves as our own heritage. It didn't came from the idea that we're trying to follow a trend or something like that. And we proved that we can elevate a Singaporean dish to become global.
In Sembawang, another flavor is taking shape. One that starts with a single bean.
Eight years ago, craft chocolate or bean-to-bar chocolate is a very new concept.
Jay wasn't a trained chocolatier, but when he discovered the world of craft chocolate, he saw the potential to create something unique. Unlike mass-produced chocolate, bean-to-bar makers roast, grind, and refine the cacao themselves.
I found that there's actually chocolates that are much more flavorful, even with just cacao and cane sugar, much more flavorful than what we're all used to.
Good flavor starts with good beans. Sourced from trusted producers, then sorted by hand to make sure only the best make it into the chocolate. Then comes roasting, the first real transformation of flavor.
Yesterday morning, Commander.
By
It's really
adjusting
not enough time to
time
completely
and
time.
temperature,
Yes, the risk of
Jay
contamination.
brings out
I
different
will
flavor
determine the
notes.
risks. Commander,
when we roast the beans, how fast that beans absorb thermal energy and convert it into a process that caramelizes, so that basically changes the chemical composition of the beans inside, and that transforms into flavor.
After roasting, the beans are cooled to let moisture evaporate.
Come with me.
Then they're cracked. The husks are blown away. And what's left are the nibs. 100% pure cacao. The nibs are ground into cocoa liquor,
Bad news,
then
Marshal.
refined in a ball
Lay it on
mill
me.
until the
Clear the
sugar,
weapon.
cacao,
Have her
and
confirm
cocoa
that
butter are silky smooth.
James here? Now?
Next comes
security
conching.
in some lab.
This allows some of the volatile flavor compound to evaporate away.
Jesus.
So we can control how intense we want the cacao to be, or how the chocolate
All right,
should
new
be.
plan. We're not leaving empty-handed.
Lastly,
We wreck this
it's
place.
filtered, tempered, and molded.
Once it's set solid, we take it out, and then that's the final product.
Grab Harold
But for
unharmed.
Jay, flavor doesn't
got a
stop
few
at the
questions.
bean.
Moving out now.
Once the base is perfected, he starts experimenting.
Time to take that
infusing
radar offline.
unexpected ingredients.
My pleasure.
So when we came to make chocolate, we came without any background in chocolate. So I think that allows us to think outside the box. That's why we started playing around with all the different flavors.
That freedom to experiment led them to a world of flavors. But the ones that meant the most come from home.
We want Singaporeans to evoke a sense of nostalgia on the kind of flavors that come locally. And then for foreigners, so that next time they come over to Singapore,
Let him have it, Kate. Chad, we're approaching the base. How's it going down there?
Moving to the rendezvous point. I think I know the way to Hado.
That's what I want to hear. Firing missiles? Watch out!
Something else is brewing.
Incoming bird! Forward!
John is the founder.
Sam's on the way! Now, need you to get rid of this bug!
At your service. Take it out.
Taking contact! Receiving full
Homebrewing for me was my escape every weekend. I would look forward to improving things that I've done before and getting it to where I'm happy. And it was very addictive for me.
Incoming bird!
What began as a hobby quickly turned
Sam's on
into
the way!
something more.
Now, need you to get rid of this bug!
At your service. Take it out. You got it.
Taking contact! Receiving full on fire! Got shooters below,
Every
okay?
time I'm traveling
Take
within
'em out.
Asia, I'm already starting to see like craft beer popping up in local markets.
RPGs below! Rope
All
down!
the
Tear 'em
international
up!
commercial brands. And I think that's why the whole motivation is to have this beer that iconic representation of what Singapore craft beer is.
To do that, John
Check in the courtyard! Take 'em out!
and that meant going all in on the craft.
That's our route to the left, the skylight! Dreamer, take us over! Okay, put the guys there, clear 'em out!
This process, called mashing, extracts sugars from the grain. Next comes lautering. The mash moves
Good
to
job.
a new tank that acts like a giant metal
after me.
sieve.
Adler,
Here,
you follow Kate?
a sweet liquid called wort is separated from the grain. The wort is then boiled and hops are added. That's what gives the beer its bitterness, aroma, and complexity.
Perfect timing. Could use some help.
After boiling,
The way underground
it's
on the other
cooled
side of the
and
base.
transferred to a fermentation tank.
Lead the way.
Yeast is added, and
Push
over the
forward.
next few days, it eats up the sugar and produces alcohol. This is where John's craft stands out, in the way he works with yeast.
If you understand your yeast and keep it happy, put it in an environment that makes it happy, your beers will be amazing. Most breweries would like to only deal with 1-2 yeasts. If they don't want to maintain too many yeasts, we use more than 10 different yeasts. We blend yeast at times as well. Because to me, it's like different yeasts create different flavor.
Some yeasts are clean and subtle,
Others bring out bold and fruity notes. For John, it all comes back to the belief that when brewed with care, a beer can go places.
Singapore's leading the world in so many things and aspects, right? I think that we can also endeavor to make our beer scene
From salted egg snacks
Color looks good today.
Yeah, the color looks good.
to single origin chocolate to local brews, these makers are crafting flavor with purpose. What began in humble kitchens or workshops is now reaching taste buds around the world. One bold idea at a time.
Missed some Singapore Hour stories? Don't worry, you can catch them all on CNA Insider's YouTube channel. We're wrapping things up in Chinatown, but the next neighborhood is calling. See you there.
This episode of Singapore Hour, it's island thrills and seaside chills at this waterfront town.
Farming is something that is very unique to Singaporeans.
Plus, the secrets to staying chic on the cheap.
I think you're doing something right, yeah.
And a duo adding a dash of Balkan spice to paradise. Your weekly dose of what's fresh and fun on Singapore Hour. Friday on CNA.
Do you know where your chicken, beef, and pork come from? In Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia have significant livestock industries. In land-scarce Singapore, almost all of its meat is imported. As food is readily available around the clock, most residents are unfamiliar with where their supplies come from. 17,000 kilometers away, Brazil is one of Singapore's biggest sources of chicken, beef, and pork. Rearing livestock is an intensive business. It requires expertise, investments, manpower, and of course, land. Lots and lots of land. For example, the largest cattle ranch in America is more than double the size of Singapore. Meat farming is an inefficient way to produce protein. Livestock uses 80% of the world's arable land, while producing only 20% of our caloric needs. But demand is rising with affluence. The world currently consumes 350 million tons of meat a year, a figure that will increase 63% by 2050. Pork is the most consumed meat in the world, followed by poultry and beef. In the 1970s, farming was one of Singapore's biggest industries, with 9% of the population involved in agriculture. At its peak, there were 10,000 farms housing more than 715,000 pigs.
As a young country, we remember the times when we had kampongs and we had pig farms and also vegetable farms. So those are in the 50s and 60s. But as we developed as a country, of course, being a very small country, land was a very scarce resource.
As Singapore became more urbanized and with technology driving the economy, the country's last pig farms saw their death knell in 1989. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed Singapore's dependence on food imports, and there are ideas to look beyond the island's shores for possible solutions.
In Singapore, we have 63 islands. We should look at some of these islands, and can we convert some of these islands into special production areas?
Lab-grown meat and plant-based proteins are other options. From cell-based shrimp dumplings to jackfruit meat, novel foods could become serious contenders to fortify the island nation's future food supply.
The novel food technologies. And this refers to things like insects, cellular meat, plant-based protein, and also looking at underutilized plants, convert them into food items. If you go to the supermarket, we have less than 100 plant species that you can find in any supermarket. Whereas we know that in nature, there are more than 1,000 that are edible. Part of the normal food technology is to search, identify, classify those species as safe,
Asia is fast developing into a hub for alternative proteins, with Singapore leading the way. Here, food tech startups are looking to produce the next big breakthrough. In December 2020, Singapore became the first country in the world to approve the sale of lab-grown meat. But will a nation of foodies stomach the alternatives?
Still a question. Because in Singapore, Asia, food is such a problem for most of us. So we want to know what we're eating and to be comfortable about eating. Now, I'm not saying that there's no future for what we eat. The question is still open-ended.
As people start taking more action to combat climate change, unsustainable food production practices will be heavily scrutinized. It is time to rethink what is consumed and embrace a whole new world of foods.
This is Singapore Tonight.
Good evening, I'm Paul Sung. Tonight's top stories. A year-long pilot to revitalize nightlife becomes permanent. You'll see operators along the Singapore River continue to sell liquor into the wee hours, as well as the return of a car-free zone at Circular Road. Strong AI demand giving the country's e-exports a boost in July, up 24%. But it still missed forecasts, no thanks to weaker pharmaceutical and petrochemical shipments. Improving maritime safety in Singapore's port waters with a new online channel that promises to keep reports of near misses and safety risks confidential. A new initiative is bringing specialized rehab for patients with Parkinson's closer to home. It's targeting to help 2,000 people at 13 daycare centers over 5 years. Having the courage to take calculated risks and make forward-looking decisions. The keys to Singapore's financial success outlined at a book launch tracing the financial sector's evolution. In your business update, a rebound in private home sales in July as developers sell nearly 5 times as many units as the previous month. Market watchers point to heightened interest in the latest project launches. And a slap on the wrist for bike-sharing operator Hello Ride. It receives a warning from the competition watchdog for attempting to discuss prices with rival Any Wheel. Nightlife operators within the historic Singapore River precinct can now enjoy longer liquor sales hours and apply to open new bars, pubs and nightclubs as a year-long revitalization pilot is made permanent. Under the pilot, businesses could submit proposals for fresh nightlife offerings pending a 16-year moratorium on new venues in the district. Between August 2025 and June this year, 37 applications for new nightlife users were approved, out of 52 submitted, with the rest pending follow-up action. Within the Clarke Quay and Bow Quay and Upper Circular Road area, more than 90 nightlife operators also receive approval to extend liquor trading hours to 4 a.m. on 2 days. Road closures will also resume at Circular Road for events and pedestrian-friendly activities.
This is a good first step, and that's why we are confident enough to say we are formalizing these measures, and then we'll see how that goes. But the most important thing is to try, and the most important thing is that we are working in close step with our trade associations and our businesses. And they've shown encouraging signs, and we'll continue to work with them to ensure that the precincts remain vibrant for locals and visitors alike.
Security has also remained stable since the pilot was tested a year ago, with about 5 additional officers deployed daily. The arrangements will continue as the measures to boost the nightlife scene are formalized.
It's not the cheapest. However, we decided to move ahead with this course in order to move the needle. And I think with this offering to step up with the security manpower, that has helped the agencies allay their concerns and move forward with this policy of reversing the 16-year moratorium.
Jane, what the fuck?
The
What are you
Nightlife
doing?
Business Association says the moves gives operators the confidence to expand and explore new
I don't think
concepts,
so.
especially with changing trends among younger generations. They're also looking to plan more place-making events, activities, and parties.
For example, you can have live music, but then you have a chess club, and then you have maybe some sports activities nearby. So we're looking at from a very broad perspective of what Singaporeans and also tourists want to enjoy when they are out at night in Singapore.
For more on this story, let's go to our correspondent Nadira Zaidi, who's there at Clarke Quay. Nadira, what's it like there, and what are businesses saying about the formalization of measures?
Thanks, Paul. I mean, it's 10 p.m. on a Monday night, so the crowd here at Clarke Quay is not at its peak compared to a Friday. But I'm not sure if you can hear me, but there's live music and the seats in restaurants behind me are filled. So it's definitely still very vibrant here at Clarke Quay. To answer your question on what businesses think about the formalization of the digitalization pilot, they're definitely very happy about that. For one business, they benefited from the change of use measure, and that basically means that instead of just being a restaurant, they're now a restaurant and a bar, and that's a big deal because instead of having to close at 12 a.m. at midnight as a restaurant, they can now open till 3 or 4 in the morning, and that has definitely affected their sales because since opening later, their sales have peaked. 20 to 25% per month. But, instead of just revenue, businesses, since the pilot, the implementation of the pilot, businesses are now more confident of, trying new ideas, expanding their businesses, and basically just trying new things. Let's hear from one of the businesses.
Because most of the staff that I'm hiring as well, I'm giving them in terms of the opportunity to work in my place where it's considered for example, if I'm going to be open till 3 a.m., we know how many number of staff that we need. If the restriction goes back to 12 a.m., then probably we'll have to cut down on the head count and everything. So, which is not the situation that any restaurant here would want to have it.
For nightlife operators like Zoo, for example, they've benefited from the extended hours of liquor sales. So instead of having to stop selling liquor at about 3 in the morning, they're now allowed to sell at 4 in the morning on Fridays and Saturdays. And even though it's just a 1 hour difference, that makes a lot of difference to their revenue. They told me that since the extension of liquor sale hours, they've benefited from about 15 to 20% additional revenue. And this is from different demographics, young people, old people, and it also helps to help them to plan their programming because now with the extended hours, they see better return on investment when it comes to hiring guest DJs.
Nadira, we know that nightlife operators have been facing challenges from rising operating costs to shifts in consumer spending behavior. How do these moves address those concerns?
Yeah, there's definitely no running away from the shift in consumer behavior, Paul. The Singapore Nightlife Business Association, as well as Singapore River One and nightlife operators in general, acknowledge that there is some sort of changing trends, and that's why they're planning, like you said earlier, some place-making activities, some day events. But some nightlife operators are also telling me that they're not very concerned about how the younger generation are consuming nightlife, because at the end of the day, they are still consuming alcohol. But one thing that they are requiring some sort of support is transportation. Just like always, transportation is always the #1 support that they're looking for. For example, Zook mentioned to me that they have an outlet in Tokyo, Japan, where their club is open until 5 in the morning, and yet people stay until closing time because they can hang out with their friends for supper after and take the first train home at 5:30 in the morning. So that's just one of the examples of support that nightlife operators are looking for.
Speaking to.
I think that one thing that's helpful to us is maybe being a little bit quicker to try new things. If there's suggestions or something that they think would increase the nighttime economy of the vibrant scene area, I think if we could do things a little bit faster, I think that would definitely be helpful. And we're committed to making it work and accomplishing the same goal. So yeah, maybe just the speed of implementation was some of the things.
So Paul, besides transportation support and quicker implementation, nightlife operators are also asking if there can be some sort of support when it comes to increasing the foreign worker quota so that they can get enough manpower to sustain them through the wee hours of the morning. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, thanks for that update. We'll be speaking to Nadirat Zaid. A new $4.5 million initiative is bringing specialized Parkinson's rehabilitation into the community. Called Kickstart Exercise and Empower Parkinson's will Keep. The program will be rolled out across 13 daycare centers, targeting 2,000 people over the next 5 years. Shirley Xia has more.
At 55, Eric Chen has been living with Parkinson's for 2 decades. Diagnosed at just 35, he says staying active has helped him manage the condition. He was among the first to take part in the new KEEP program.
I noticed that there are certain daily activities which I used to have challenges with has gone away. And it's a lot easier to move about and I'm more mobile.
Bringing specialized therapy closer to home, KEEP combines fitness and strength training with support for daily function and mental health. Some of the techniques taught may be simple, but can make everyday movement safer.
Physiotherapy focuses on training patients how to be able to take bigger steps when they walk, so that they don't trip over, and so that they walk faster. And a particular problem that they have is when they turn, they will fall. So we will also teach them specific strategies how to turn safely.
Targeting people with early to mid-stage disease, doctors say the aim is to intervene earlier, before other mobility complications set in. More than 10,000 people in Singapore are estimated to be living with Parkinson's, the country's second most common neurodegenerative disease.
As Singapore ages, the prevalence of Parkinson's disease will increase. If we go through the normal wait and see reactive approach, what will happen is that we will be laden with a lot of healthcare needs. So why not take this proactively, strengthen the patient better, make the patients fitter, because evidence-based says that when the patients are fitter, they tend to deteriorate, decline slower.
The program is led by the Lian Foundation in partnership with Parkinson's Society Singapore, Tan Tock Seng Hospital, the National Neuroscience Institute, and other Singapore institutions. Participants will be checked every 6 months for up to 2 years, with more assistance provided if their mobility or condition changes.
Complementing the program, the organizers also plan to launch a public campaign in the coming months to raise awareness, build empathy, and reduce the stigma around Parkinson's disease.
Parkinson's disease involves damage to nerve cells deep in the midbrain. These neurons produce dopamine, a chemical messenger that helps control movement. Or as these cells are lost, dopamine levels fall, making movement harder to control. This can lead to symptoms such as slowness, stiffness, and shaking. Parkinson's is a progressive disease developing gradually and worsening over time. To tell us more, I'm joined by Associate Professor Tay Yao. He is the head and senior consultant at Singapore National Neuroscience Institute. Also with us is Phyllis Lim. She is the Executive Director of Parkinson's Society in Singapore. Now, Prof. Tay, let's start with you. What do we know about neurons damage to the dopamine producing?
Thanks for the question. I would like to bring to attention dopamine neurons is that the vast majority of Parkinson's disease is still idiopathic. Or what we know, or is better in a layman term is we are unknown the exact cause. However, this does not mean that we do not know anything about Parkinson's disease. We know there is accumulation of a certain protein called alpha-synuclein. We know that the probable cause is due to protein clearance impairment that leads to this accumulation, and therefore it may lead to mitochondrial dysfunction, oxidative stress, neuroinflammation that leads to degeneration of the dopamine nerves. But what we do not know is, Patty, actually, that
I can give you that same
what
choice,
is the first trigger that makes the cascade happen. And the interaction between cascade, it doesn't mean that it goes one way.
Watch the minigun.
It may interact, neuroinflammation interact with mitochondria may cause inflammation. It can go vice versa. So that is something that we still do not understand at this stage of Parkinson's disease research. Certainly there's more things to be done.
Undiscovered at the moment. How does Singapore compare with other countries in terms of the prevalence, in terms of the profile of patients?
I refer you to a study done in 2004 In this study, the prevalence is 3 in 1,000 population above 50, and it is comparable to the Western population. But I must emphasize that even amongst patients above 50 years old, with each decade of age, actually the prevalence increases. As our population ages and many more people approaches 70, 80, 90s, and our life expectancy increases, certainly our prevalence will increase now. And I think this is comparable to the global statistics too. I based this on the Global Burden Disease Study. Looking into 1990 to 2040, we know that neurodegenerative disorders, and they are expected to grow exponentially within these few years.
Yeah. Phyllis, if I may come to you, the new KEEP community program aims to get Parkinson's patients out earlier to start their rehab. Why is this so important, and how can that change the way Singapore manages Parkinson's needs?
It is important because we have to do upstream work, in the sense that it's good to build on their resilience from the early onset, the early diagnosis to the mid stage, so that they can be empowered with knowledge and awareness and know how to take care of their own health. And instead of being very reliant on others, to be able to age well and independently with dignity in the community.
Another issue that's linked to this disease is social isolations. Mobility difficulties and the fear of falling could lead to some patients to stay home and ultimately withdraw from social activities. So why is it important to tackle this issue with the community rehab program?
Okay, because for persons with Parkinson, they get to see their doctors quite often in hospitals, because we have an aging population, like what Dr. said, and most of the time they're in the community. So we have to empower them to age well in the community and to give them a playbook of that, to be able to take charge of their own Parkinson's trajectory, so that they can either maintain or slow down the progression through the KEEP program. So that the KEEP program is actually kickstart exercise, right? So instead of being sedentary, they have a playbook of exercise in Keep Active, Keep Fit, and Keep Well, so that they can take care of their physical abilities as well as mental health.
Now, Prof. Day, what will happen to the patient when the Parkinson's patient continue to isolate themselves?
Well, to answer this question, we can generally divide into physical and mental. All right. So, social isolation is closely associated with poorer physical outcome, because they tend not to want to go out, obviously, and it is closely associated with more depression, poorer quality of life, and cognitive decline, and also associated with dementia. All right. But the part does not stop there. You know, when a patient gets isolated, the caregiver gets isolated too. So we have a double whammy. So it is with this intention that we build the KEEP, as to bring the patients to us, and together we have a caregiver training from the Keep Well, and so everybody gets some social activities, interaction, peer support, and this will benefit the community as a whole.
And finally, Phyllis, if I may ask you, what are the biggest challenges that caregivers face when patient?
Parkinson's disease is a very long disease, so the caregiver is with the minute they wake up to at night when they sleep. So challenges can range from physical challenges, like buttoning a chair, taking care of themselves, feeding and all that. It can also range from mood swings, like what Prof. Quinn said earlier about the depression and the anxiety. And sometimes they feel very depressed because the society will expect them to perform a certain social norm roles, you know, and they fear things like with the traumas, with a very visible symptoms. They feel very not even. So the caregivers, they find it very challenging. They have to always motivate them and to encourage them to journey with this disease, which won't go away with a snap of finger.
Well, Phyllis and Professor, thank you so much for sharing more information on this disease with me. Speaking to Associate Professor Tay K. Yao from the NNI and Phyllis Lim from the Parkinson Society, Singapore. Now, still to come, we take a closer look at what's giving Singapore's tea exports its latest boost. Also coming up later in the bulletin, Lewis ramps up patrols in mosques after the sexual assault of a young boy. Stay with us.
No coding skills? She built her own app anyway.
What I thought programmers could do, I could do it now.
How this couple saves up to 90% of what they earn while living on the road. Their restaurant was failing. Could social media save it? On Money Mind, Wednesday on CNA.
How do you feed billions of people as climate change accelerates?
Paddy rice cultivation is a major source of global methane emissions.
When production is disrupted, the impact is felt across the community.
Farmers say olives are a rare bright spot in stressed farmlands such as this one.
CNA correspondent explores the solutions that are taking place across the region. Feeding Asia's future. Wednesday on CNA.
Your next dream holiday starts with LGE Travel at Natas Fair. Let's go everywhere with LGE's professional travel planning and unbeatable deals. Book your holiday exclusively at Natas Fair booth 4H-55 or call 6532-5322.
Every day, the financial world goes through dramatic rises and falls. We'll track the biggest market movers and show you where the opportunities lie. Get the experts' take on the performance of key indexes, plus all the analysis to help you understand forces driving global economies. Asia Business on Singapore Tonight. Weekends on CNA. This segment is brought to you by Starbucks.
Behind every product is a rigorous requirement of standards.
If the products of an inferior quality, that just undoes everything for the patient. Without standards, it's a no-go for business.
Ensuring your essentials deserve your trust.
Standard helps us build a stronger pathway for sustainable growth.
Built on standards. Thursday on CNA.
Brought to you by Enterprise Singapore.
China's rise started on the coast. Today is building its next growth pole thousands of kilometers inland.
This is not just another new station. This is the world's biggest railway station.
广东的一支城市，把货拉到重庆来，我们走中班。
Can Chongqing and Chengdu become China's next growth engines?
The idea is to foster economic cooperation.
有1年的时间没有找到一个合适的合作。
Inside Thursday on CNA.
In business, Singapore's tea exports expanded 24.2% in July, led by strong AI demand. It's the 11th consecutive month of growth, but it narrowly missed economists' estimates. And this was dragged by non-electronic exports, which declined for the second straight month. Pharmaceuticals is dipping by more than 56%, while petrochemicals fell by 22.5%.
One key aspect of that is petroleum chemicals exports, and that headwinds that's facing this segment will continue to persist given the unresolved conflict in the Middle East that are constraining feedstock supplies for the petrochemical sector.
Here.
Still, electronic exports remain the main driver of Nordics, surging 112% in July. Analysts remain confident that AI demand will continue to outpace the contraction in non-electronic exports and propel growth forward, at least until the end of this year.
It's important to note that data centers are multi-year projects with substantial sunk costs, and many facilities are currently under construction will still need to be fitted out with chips, storage and networking equipment. So accordingly, I think that Singapore's electronics exports are going to remain robust in the near term.
We both betrayed our masters.
Business confidence is on the up in the second quarter based on the Singapore Business Federation survey. The rebound supported by resilient domestic growth, strong AI momentum, and the Middle East conflict having a less severe impact than anticipated. Early last week, Singapore raised its GDP growth for the year to 4.5 to 5.5% after clocking a 5.9% growth in Q2. The survey also found that fewer businesses expect Singapore's economy to worsen over the next 12 months. That's down to 32% from Q1's 41%. Sectors like banking and insurance and health and social services were the most optimistic. Retail, trade, education and wholesale trade were among the least confident. The hiring outlook was also higher, driven mostly by SMEs. Private home sales in July climbed to 731 units from the 156 in June, thanks in part to the first project in the new Turf City Precinct Dunnan House. Together with Lentor Gardens residences, the new launches made up about 2/3 of transactions in July. There were no new launches in June. The Dunnan House project is close to the 6th Avenue MRT station and popular schools such as Hwa Chong Institution. Analysts say that this drew interest from families, especially those with young children.
Many of them are buying for the long term. Therefore, they are prepared to pay more for these projects, mainly because they believe that because these projects are well located and they have very good product attributes, so they do believe that these projects will be able to yield good investment returns or maybe rental income in the long term.
Upcoming launches such as Lucent Grand in Lakeside are expected to keep the sales momentum going in the coming months. Market watchers also cite the attractive borrowing costs and a stronger than expected economic performance as factors that are driving buyer confidence.
We need to get her to talk.
Real estate outlook is expected to remain positive, especially with a robust pipeline of new condominium launches. And we're also seeing that buyer demand is resilient. So in the coming months, we are expecting to see new launches in the form of the Sarah Residences and Lucent Grand in September. And for August, we will probably see a dip in numbers because developers tend to avoid new launches in the 7 lunar month.
A new confidential online channel for reporting near-miss incidents in Singapore port waters is expected to boost maritime safety. The aim is to identify trends in these close calls and address safety risk before they lead to serious accidents. Charlotte Lim finds out how it would work and why it is needed.
Singapore has one of the world's busiest ports, and with so much activity at sea, close calls can happen. This could include vessels passing dangerously close to each other, crew members nearly tripping over unsecured equipment. Smoking rules could also be flouted, potentially creating a fire risk. The industry wants to catch these warning signs before they turn into serious accidents. A new confidential channel now allows such near misses to be reported anonymously.
Behind every serious accident is a whole wave of near misses. We do not currently have access to this data. The larger operators or ship owners, they will have their safety governance mechanisms to capture all this. But as a community, because maritime safety is a community responsibility, it is a maritime obligation. This is possibly the first time ever to aggregate all this information into a single data set.
Reports can include details such as the type of vessels involved, the time of the day, and weather conditions.
It's meant to capture data points so that we can see trend analysis. It's not meant to penalize what I call bad actors.
And the platform can be used by all users of Singapore port waters.
It could be operators of vessels, it could be seafarers, it could be passengers, it could be bystanders who observe safety. So this is something we've cast wide so that everybody feels involved in the safety of maritime Singapore.
The initiative was announced at the opening of Safety at Sea Week. MPA also signed an agreement with marine technology firm Ocean Infinity to conduct trials of autonomous and remote marine operations in Singapore's port waters. A system giving authorities a real-time view of port operations and activities is now up and running.
Maritime safety is about technology and process. It's also about the human spirit and our willingness to collaborate and build partnerships between regulators and industry, between technology and the people who use it, and between nations with a shared stake in keeping our seas safe.
Mr. Murali says such partnerships have become even more critical as the sector faces geopolitical tensions and climate-related disruptions.
The Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore Chief Executive describes a career in the sector as one that's sometimes recession-proof. Mr. Ang Wee Keong said this at the focus group discussion that's part of a series of consultations to co-create the Maritime Singapore Master Plan, targeted for release next year.
You always need shipping. When the economy is not doing well, people will cut back on perks like travel. They may cut back on expensive food or expensive bags or clothes, etc. But you still need clothes, you still need food, and you still need to ship them all across the world.
The discussion also touched on how geopolitical disruptions could affect maritime jobs. Mr. Ang says Singapore's position as a neutral and balanced player gives it an advantage amid uncertainty. He says the country can position itself as a place to do business where rules and policies are transparent and above board. Singapore has inked a deal with China to strengthen cooperation on the peaceful uses of nuclear technology as it steps up efforts to assess the potential deployment of nuclear energy. The deal will support capability building between the two countries. That's in areas such as nuclear reactor safety assessments, manpower training, and public education. Singapore says the partnership will also help it prepare for an International Atomic Energy Agency review mission next year. And still ahead on Singapore Tonight. East meets West in medical care to find a way to treat sleep disorders and chronic diseases. Plus, what is the secret to longevity? Well, join me as we get some answers from a professor's first-hand experience.
On this episode of Singapore Hour, it's island thrills and seaside chills at this waterfront town.
Prawning is something that is very unique to Mongolians.
Plus, the secrets to staying chic on the cheap.
Auntie and uncle look at you. Yeah, I think you're doing something right. Yeah.
And a duo adding a dash of Balkan spice to paradise. Your weekly dose of what's fresh and fun on Singapore Hour. Friday on CNA.
Saturday on Japan Hour. Journey through Japan's World Heritage Sites. Where every age-old onsen offers a timeless retreat.
Yeah, this is Japan. Very Japanese.
Every overnight temple stay becomes a story.
Never imagined I'd be staying in a room like this.
And every shrine keeps tradition alive. Japan Hour, Saturday on CNA.
Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation. MUFG, committed to empowering a brighter future. Zip Air, all flights, all seats, free high-speed Wi-Fi available. IHI. And Takashimaya. Visit our Mid-Autumn Fair, 20th August to 25th September.
In an all-new season of Meet Me There.
Ming!
Where are you?
Oh my God, where are you, girl?
A killer cast.
Yeah, my sister. No, what?
Higher stakes.
We're running out of time, bro.
8 hours. No communication.
If I don't find her in 5 hours, I will start to panic.
Please share location. I give you $20. Bye, Bjorn.
She's blocked.
3 words that will determine how well they know each other.
You have dug out everything that I never knew of these years from him.
You're gonna crack her brain, but she loves this kind of thing.
Clearly, we're not that in sync lah.
The lights all came out already. Oh, sister, can you find me?
I will find you, sister.
There.
Meet me there.
The search is on. Watch Meet Me There on demand at cna.asia.
Relive the celebrations of the National Day Parade 2026 as we go beyond with the pride we know.
Let me hear you!
And a new energy felt across every Singaporean. Go beyond the familiar. Go beyond the possibilities. Majulah Singapura. Go beyond. Catch the encore telecast of the National Day Parade 2026, Sunday 23rd August, 4 p.m. on 5. You can also catch the National Day Parade on MeWatch now.
People with sleep disorders or chronic illnesses like high cholesterol could in future benefit from treatments that combine Western medicine and evidence-based traditional Chinese medicine. Nanyang Technological University and OUE Healthcare are working together to study the potential of such integrated care through research, education, and clinical practice. It comes as Singapore looks at a bigger role for evidence-based TCM alongside conventional healthcare. The new deal sets out 3 key areas of collaborations. This includes more opportunities for joint research, bringing together researchers and clinicians, and to tackle real-world medical needs. There will also be more conferences and workshops to share knowledge. NTU students can also gain useful hands-on experience from clinicians and TCM practitioners. OEE is also putting $3 million in a new professorship at NTU focused on healthcare and technology. A key focus will be using AI to help doctors diagnose patients more accurately and predict health risks.
Though we have already, NTU have bachelor degree, master degree, and also PhD degree, but still we are lack of some specialists in the specific area for integrated medicine. So West and East both are mutually understanding. This is I think the most challenging part. And another one, of course, is the accumulated evidence. Because why we have this collaboration, we want to have more data and more scientific analysis to provide the solid evidence.
There have always been issues raised about, is this evidence-based? So I think our collaboration with NTU will fill this gap. NTU being a university, very strong in research, so they actually provide the whole structured, modern scientific way in research, in assessment, in evaluation of TCM therapeutic outcomes.
How can you improve your health or even reverse the aging process? An NUS professor used himself as a guinea pig in a study on biological age at NUS Medicine. And he is here now to tell us more. Professor Dean Ho is the director of the Institute for Digital Medicine at NUS Yong Lu Lin School of Medicine. Professor, first of all, how did you end up being your own test subject? Are there any ethical concerns here?
Our group specializes in the use of data, our knowledge on how to collect the right type of data to calibrate a person. The dose a person might need of exercise, the dose a person may need of a medicine can change over time, and we know how to capture that information. And so we decided to take that knowledge and see if we can help sick people get better. Can we help the healthy stay healthy or become even healthier? And in terms of ethics, we ran this as an ethics board approved study, and we sent this through peer review as well. And so we followed all the stringent parameters that we would for any other trial.
So what did your study reveal about your biological age?
Sadly, while I may have appeared to slow down the aging process potentially with my biology, our wrinkles still show up. There are other ways to get rid of those wrinkles, but something we really wanted to dig into was the function of my biology. That was the crux of it. We tend to think of our metabolism, for example, as one data point, what our blood sugar looks like. But because we know how to collect data, we dug deeper. And we started to understand how much resilience does my metabolism have? How efficient is my metabolism at switching between energy sources? So if we think about the data that we have, typically it's a snapshot. It's a snapshot that's valuable. It gives us some insight into what our health looks like, but we can dig deeper to move beyond a snapshot to really illuminate functional capacity, how adaptive our biology is. That was the core focus of this work.
And you talk about deeper. What did that reveal about your health that a regular health screening cannot, and how can that study help inform public health policy?
Health screenings are important. They provide key insights into the status of our health at that point in time. If we can add another component to sharpen that knowledge, which tells us if we expose our biology to maybe a minor stress, and we look at how our metabolism, for example, responds to that stress, this gives us some information into both status with the snapshot, but also capability with the slightly increased amount of information. It's quite straightforward on how to collect that information, but in the end, as we look towards healthy aging, as we look towards functional capacity being maintained, we maybe want a little bit of both to inform both policy and also recommendations for people to stay healthy.
Now, for your study, you have altered several aspects of your lifestyle, from fasting, exercise, diet, and sleep. Which intervention had the biggest impact in your view?
I think that sleep is an easy one to bring up, and I think we generally know that sleep matters. But I will say at a holistic level, I started simple. I started small. I actually initially removed sugar from my morning coffee. That's it. And then from there, I leveled up a little bit to removing the milk. Now it's kopi o kosong. And when I started thinking about maybe moving up my sleep time a little earlier, maybe slowly shifting when I work out, and then eventually cutting back on the amount of caffeine I had, it was a holistic approach, but I think sleep, as we know, is a powerful intervention. But I think one of the key learnings I derived was there's so much more depth to understanding how my biology works, and understanding how it could adapt and switch between energy usage was absolutely fascinating.
Now, there are very similar studies in other countries. What's different about yours?
I think that the studies that we typically see are longitudinal. A version of a person, a singular version of a person shows up, and we measure them over time. That's more data with one version of a person. In our case, I calibrated myself. I had one version of me that was a baseline. I had another version of me that was fasted or stressed. Then I had a recovering version of me. So it's three versions of me looking at the right data over time. And when we do that, I can calibrate. And when I calibrate, that's where I see capability. And capability can be optimized. Longitudinal is popular. It's being talked about a lot, that healthcare and prevention should be continuous, and it should be. But measuring one version of ourself over time, I think, is valuable, but misses insight into just how capable we are. And to flash forward to what else we're doing with this, we have used this same approach for years to reduce doses for some cancer patients to increase the effectiveness of their treatment. We've used it to decrease the intensity of training to improve and optimize performance. We are all different from each other, but we're different from ourselves over time. And so the key differentiator was I calibrated different versions of myself to lock in on what I needed at any given point in time.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks for having me.
Very insightful. And we've been speaking with Prof. Dean Ho from NUS Medicine. Thank you. In regional news, the death toll from record-breaking rainfall in Japan's Chiba Prefecture, east of Tokyo, has risen to 10 Chiba City received 3 times its average rainfall for the entire month of August in just half a day, triggering